think I actually fixed it now to where the game looks good. Like, yeah, I had to tweak my stream quite a bit actually. Sorry. Woke up this morning with a bit of, I don't know, runny nose. Oof. Right. Our illustrious founder was only our most notable imperial defector. For that reason, the company is committed to the success of this expedition. Our resources are at your disposal. If there is aught we might do to be of further assistance, please do not hesitate to ask. If you are ready to depart, I will ready the engines. Okay, so this is going to be a long cutscene. Okay, for right now, I'm going to leave because I just wanted to double check. Oh, wow. I'm definitely not getting as many frames as I was. Wow. I think that's just due to the processing power that I put a bit more quality on the... Put a bit more quality on the stream. So that, you know, people viewing on YouTube, you know, see it a little bit better. But just looking at it from my phone, it just doesn't appear, you know, as if it's a huge, huge difference. At least not from what I can tell. Anyways, and if you're watching, let me know if it's any better than it was yesterday. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and proceed here. It's gonna be a long cutscene, so. Finally.
Ilsabad, divided in twain by a vast mountain range. Those who would traverse its jagged peaks face peril at every step. But why go by foot when one can simply fly? On the outskirts of the Imperial capital, in the frozen wastes of the Magna Glacius.
Magna Glacius.
The winds howl in icy protest, as if to warn against further trespass.
Everybody's freezing, except for me. I'm like, yeah, you guys are weak. My body is a furnace.
Thancred's reconnaissance party. They have sighted a detachment of heavily armed Imperials. Survivors of the Civil War, perhaps? Perhaps, but there is more to it than that. Maxima reports that they are led by Vergilia, legatus of the 3rd Legion, which comprises the bulk of their number. However, they are also joined by several members of the 1st.
From what I recall, the 3rd Legion fought for Nerva in the War of Succession following Varus's death. The 1st, on the other hand, were under the direct command of the Emperor and rejected Nerva's claim to the throne. These legions were enemies.
Indeed. In fact, our sources claim that it was a conflict between them that sparked the Civil War. Yet now, these former foes cooperate to defend a ruined Garlemald from invasion.
Oh, that's interesting.
Then it is all but certain they have been tempered.
So, what's the plan?
How's it going,
If me and
everyone?
my crew is out reaving, we charge straight in, no messing about. But that ain't what we're here for.
Quite right. Soldiers or no, they are people of Garlemald.
Spoiler
The
alert.
very ones we've come to aid. Direct confrontation is unavoidable. Nevertheless, we must make every effort to limit casualties on both sides. Rather than kill them, I would remove them from the field.
How so?
No, kill him. Just kill
Savage
him.
beatings, disarmament, and imprisonment? Not impossible, but easier said than done in the heat of battle.
Just put their head on a pike and call it a day.
I imagine Thancred had something to suggest.
He did. He and the other scouts have already infiltrated a supply depot some distance beyond the Imperial detachment's current position. Stored within is a stockpile of Magitech armaments, and once we give the signal, Thancred's team will destroy them all. In so doing, we will deprive frontline troops of materiel, and likely force the detachment to send men to investigate.
Divide and conquer. Not a bad idea.
A bad idea.
Once the scouts have finished their preparations, we will split into 2 groups. The first will form the vanguard, while the other brings up the rear with our supplies.
Assume that this is going to be a battle / cutscene arrangement.
As for the Scions, I ask that you lend your assistance where you deem it needed most. I would prefer, however, that you accompany the rearguard and be prepared to join the van at a moment's notice. Kept in reserve as our trump card, so to speak.
You got it. Oh, meanwhile, at the Imperial Supply Depot. Oh, he's got a cool coat. I like that outfit.
Your proposal was well received. More specifically, they asked that we destroy the Imperial's toys in as spectacular a fashion as possible.
I like that gear set.
Flair for the dramatic. She's not an easy woman to please, but I shall do my best to satisfy her thirst for fireworks. All right, once more for my peace of mind. Our first objective will be to rig the enemy's magitech with explosives. After we've withdrawn to a safe distance, we'll detonate them remotely. Our second will be to issue a deactivation command to the automated units via the control terminal. If our calculations are correct, this signal should reach those deployed on the front line, giving our friends a much-needed upper hand. The blizzard will help us stay hidden, so let's aim to get in and out before it passes. Trust in the plan, and we should all live to see tomorrow.
Hey, trust in the plan.
In the meantime, I will relay messages back and forth as the situation unfolds. You'll forgive me if I ask again, but are you certain you wish to play the lone wolf?
Wouldn't have it any other way. Call it foolish and reckless if you like, but I'll get the job done. I always do.
Very well.
True.
I wish you the best of luck.
Okay. All right. Well, I suppose assuming there's nothing else you wish to confirm, we may commence with the mission as soon as you're ready.
Keep your wits about you.
It's time. We only have one shot at this, so let's make it count.
All right.
Must be losing my touch.
Alright, so this is an espionage mission, not a guns blazing. Oh. I'm standing right beside this guy. He has no idea I'm right there. What? Okay, so I'm planting the bombs. Ah. It's alright. Well, and swift deception like goes away the moment I interact. So I suppose my job here is done. Alright, let's go. Maybe there's more. Having quite some allergies. Ah, you bastard.
Must be losing my touch.
So that guy doesn't die, I mean, so he's gonna come back. Great. Ah.
Must be losing my touch.
Oh, that was a bad idea. I might get caught here. Ah, crap. I think I've messed it up. Dang it. Where? Okay, so that's what happens. That sucks. Then I have to do it again. We'll do very easy.
Keep your wits about you.
It's time.
Alright,
We only
second
have one shot
time.
at this, so let's make it count.
Make it a tad bit easier this time. really can't be detected.
7 hells.
It doesn't seem to be great. Alright, a little bit better this time. Oh, oh. This is a tough one. I'm not exactly sure what to do here. Oh, okay, well. I don't suppose that could have been avoided. Come on.
Must be losing my touch. This is Thancred. The explosives are in place.
Very good. All is proceeding as planned. Head to the control terminal. It should be to the northwest.
Understood. Have the others wait at the rendezvous point.
That guy's not moving at all, so I'm gonna have to probably... Okay, he is moving. Wait for that thing to turn around. Go for it. Ah. Let's do this number.
Spotted.
I'm really bad at espionage. Now what am I supposed to do here? Man. There is no way I'm going to get through this without being detected. There's no hiding place up in this area. I think my best bet is to attack it from the east. I think that's what this is for. Maybe. Okay, well the whole base is still not alerted to it at least. Looks like I think that was pretty more or less the right thing to do. All right. Go for it. Alright, now it's time to get out. Oh. Alright. I kind of messed up right there at the end. That was an interesting little maze.
You are returned, and none the worse for wear, to my considerable relief.
What news from our comrades?
楽しかったです。
They stand.
Excellent. Then let them.
I had a little glitch there. Now watch it blow.
The blizzard's beginning to clear. The
right
vanguard
as we
should be
blow up their
engaging the
base.
Imperials any moment now, if they haven't already. Ishtola and the others are with them, so I'm sure they'll be all right. But wait!
忍べた。
Something's coming!
No. Bulldogs.
Oi, oi! Looks like we ain't
Big
the
ones.
only ones who sent out scouts. Keep them away from the carriages! We lose those, and we're as good as dead! brief respite, but stay alert. Keep the carriages safe.
Am I supposed to move on? Oh, I guess, yeah.
Friends, the savior of Ishgard is here!
A fine display, but the other carriages are still in danger. Go on ahead. We'll hold the line.
Alright. Alright. Let's go.
We're fine. I'm ready for more. Hear that? Get to the front and turn the tide.
I am north of... I guess that's that.
Removed from the field was not a euphemism for enthusiastically murder.
It's nothing that won't heal in time.
Right.
The trouble is, their tempering has made them utterly fearless. Subduing them would be easier if they had the capacity to submit in the first place.
Well, this is the path our young charges would have us walk, and that we all agreed to follow. You knew it would be hard, yet still you pledged your lance, did you not?
Oh, here comes another.
That I did.
Ah, Legatus. That'd be an interesting fight, I bet.
for Gilia. Damn it. I need to help the others take her down.
There's no end to them.
I was wondering when you'd turn up.
Let's go.
There's no stopping us now. Come on. Let's show them what we're made of.
So far so good. So I'm making a lot of progress in the storyline. So spoiler alert if you haven't played this, or if you're not playing it, then no big deal. But yeah, I've been procrastinating getting back into this for a while. How are you doing, man? Thanks for coming over and checking out my YouTube stream.
Let them have it!
Yeah, 2DX has really taken up all my other game time, so figured I'm in a place now where I'm more or less stagnant. I'm not really getting any better at 2DX, so figured I'd give it a break and get back to my good old Final Fantasy XIV. Nice. What is TGM? Hate to ask a dumb question, but okay. I've never been a Tetris fan. Like, I just never have been. Like, I remember being like 7, playing it on the regular Nintendo. I just never, I never really got into it. I just never heard that acronym before, Tetris Grandmaster, but oh boy. Oh dear. closer. I'm just gonna have to pick a side now. Try to kill them all at the same time. Oh, they're not stopping. Alright, sweet. Nice. Pass the DPS check. Reasonable.
A worthy adversary.
I don't know about that. That was a pretty easy battle.
Reclaim yourself. Then we will fight again. To the death. Sadu had too.
That was the last of them. The day is ours, thanks to your timely arrival. What of the supply caravan? Outmaneuvered, but not outmatched. Good. Let us take the Imperials into custody and rejoin our comrades. And
go.
soon we shall arrive at the capital.
I don't know if you know anything about Final Fantasy XIV, but I've been working towards getting to this part of the game for a long time.
So cold and unforgiving. Thus spoke Emperor Solus as he gazed upon his barren domain. "800 years it had been since the Garleans first set foot here. Bested by the Kavosi, after centuries of war and driven from fertile southern pastures into the blasted northern wastes. In that garden of desolation, they clung to one another for warmth, freezing, hungry, desperate, hated.
The interesting looking Aetheryte.
Chosen, forsaken.
I love the art style in this game. Like, just really nice looking scenery, character models, the whole thing. Really love the art style. That's sort of the thing that's kept me playing this game.
In the year 1513 of the 6th Astral Era,
And the story is
a young
fantastic.
legatus named Solus single-handedly sparked the Magitech Revolution. How did he conceive the machina that feed on ceruleum? Once a common, soft-spoken soldier, how had he so quickly ascended through the ranks?
Oh, then you're ahead of me then.
Like so many others, those who knew the truth are gone. Taking in the capital with his eyes for the first time, I recall thinking to myself, far colder on the earth than in the heavens. Yes, far colder indeed. Bitterly so.
Yeah, I stopped playing like whenever I more or less stopped playing whenever I started playing 2DX. Like after I bought the cabinet, I just kind of fell off. And Endwalker came out.
Not so
I bought
much
it
as a whisper.
and didn't play it, and so you know I'm just now thinking, oh, I'm on vacation and I don't really have anything to do, so I'm gonna get through this game that I bought like a year ago.
The roads leading beyond the city walls would have been used less in recent years. Nevertheless, this was one of the most important gateways into the capital.
But yeah, I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV since it began, like 1.0. Like I've been playing this game since 1.0 beta test. So since the very beginning of this game, I've been playing it.
A buzz day and night with activity, aye. Merchants passing through the checkpoint, many of them stopping at the local hostelries.
Those were very interesting times.
Surely they cannot all have been
That
tempered.
1.0. I really liked
We can consider the question after we have made camp.
I really liked the graphics engine that they used in 1.0.
If we spend any longer outside, we may well freeze to death where we stand.
They just couldn't make the game good with that engine. It was just too heavy.
This will be our temporary base of operations. Secure shelter for ourselves and the injured, and dispatch scouts to survey the surrounding area.
If we're planning on staying here a while, we ought to give this place a proper name.
Well, the constant sound of ice cracking underfoot makes me think of broken glass. An apt name, perhaps. But enough of this. To work, everyone!
Cool. Yeah, I feel you about the time thing. Like, this game does consume quite a bit of time, especially when you're getting like in-game stuff. Like, it's just an inordinate amount of time to complete anything. Like, if you're gonna do stuff to get the max level weapons, it's just an absolute time sink. But I have sank quite a bit of time over the years, just off stream, just playing the game because I love it. But you know, if this is any indicator here, so I mean, I could have done more with it, but I've pretty much leveled up every job to some degree. I have done Paladin. I've played Paladin through most of this time as a main, but when Endwalker came out, I really wanted to try Reaper, so I've decided to main the Reaper through this expansion. So yeah, that's kind of where Disciples of Hand and Land, sort of mediocre leveling of this. The highest is level 71 Alchemist, so. But still, even to do this, it took a considerable amount of time. So, I haven't unlocked Sage yet, so that'll probably be my next thing. But I'm probably gonna do that after I'm done with the main story. Oh, nice, Monk. Monk is a fun job. Yeah, if you're gonna do savage groups, it's just like you have to coordinate a time slot, a time schedule, and if you're like me and you have a schedule that's like freaking up in the air most of the time, there's no way I can organize myself enough to have time to raid and meet people at a certain time to be able to get a raid down. Like I just can't. I've never been able to acquire that kind of time. And this is what makes this game so good, is the fact that you can still play the game and get max level weapons without having to do the insane savage raids. Because if you don't have time to organize a group to do savage raids, you can just do you can just do resistance weapons, or whatever the current what do you call that? I'm forgetting the name of them. Let me see, what am I thinking of here? It's not legacy weapons. Well, I calculated my playtime the other day, and I actually looked at it. I think I posted it on Twitter. I looked at my playtime, and it was like an absurd amount of time. It was I can't remember what it, but it was an absurd amount of time. Actually, I'll show you. It was something like 2,000 days. Hold up. Hopefully I can get back in after this. Yeah, so 2,700 days. That's how long I've consistently subscribed and played this game. That is insane. That's a I've like just played the game through over the years and never really looked at that. And then when I looked at that the other day, I was thinking to myself, good God, I could have got a master's degree. Well, I'm sorry, I could have got probably a bachelor's degree with that amount of time. Yeah, well, the thing about the money part of it is, since I've been playing this game since the beginning of time, and so Naoki Yoshida, when he took over, and they decided that they were going to shut down 1.0, basically kill the game that we were subscribed to, and remake it. His sort of apology for that was to make the new game, since we bought 1.0, we spent time on it, and we continued to subscribe to it until the end. And so what Yoshida did was give those people that played 1.0, that suffered through 1.0 basically until A Realm Reborn came along, was he was going to put our names in the credits. So like my actual real name is in the credits of the game, and to make it like significantly cheaper for the legacy status players to continue to play the new game. And the legacy status is for life, so that will never disappear. That will never go away. I will pay half of what you pay every month to play the game. So that's pretty cool. I thought it was cool. But unfortunately, we don't get that same deal when the new expansion comes out. Like, I still have to pay full price for the expansion, but for the subscription, I basically pay half off. Yeah, Yeah, it was really cool. And it was a really interesting time because like when the original director of Final Fantasy XIV got fired and they put in Naoki Yoshida, he said with like the forums that it was different forums than what you see at the Lodestone right now. It was like much smaller, and there was only like maybe, I don't know, 100 people that were actively playing the game at that time. So Yoshida was very vocal with the players leading up to A Realm Reborn. So it was really cool to interact with Yoshida through all of that. It was just a really interesting, like, to see the whole thing unfold. And like in those forums, like he basically laid out the plan of how they were going to remake the game whilst keeping 1.0, trying to make like 1.0 as enjoyable as possible to the few people who kept playing, and leading up to the eventual shutdown of the game and the beginning of A Realm Reborn. So I don't know. There's a sort of a YouTube documentary on how all of that went down. But to actually like live through that and interact with Yoshida and go through all of that was pretty cool. And yeah, when they did eventually decide to shut the game down, I think it was shut down for about 6 or 7 months before Realm Reborn. So that was kind of painful. And I was just trying to find other things to do at that time. And I wasn't playing 2DX, and I was just like, man, I don't know what to do with myself. It was like 6 months worth of no Final Fantasy. You know, the weird thing about it is, you know, I'm always the type of person who loves the thing that everybody else hates. So for some reason, like, even like the most, like the Final Fantasies that everyone hates are generally the ones that I enjoyed. Like Final Fantasy VIII, like everybody hated Final Fantasy VIII, but I enjoyed Final Fantasy VIII. I thought it was a great game. Maybe aside from the, you know, like the CG card system was kind of wonky, but I enjoyed Final Fantasy VIII. Everybody hated Final Fantasy X too. I enjoyed Final Fantasy X too. So it's kind of like, you know, so 1.0 came out. I loved it because the graphics were great. Like the graphics, Final Fantasy 1.0, Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 was amazing. I mean, for that time period, it even looks better than the current game. It looks better than the current game, graphic-wise, but it didn't play better than the current game, unfortunately. So that's why they had to get rid of it, because it was just too clunky, too slow, and you know, the server lag was beyond recompense, because like if you would like to do any action, it took like maybe a second and a half before the server could ping. And the thing about it was there was no data center in the US at that time. There was only one data center. That data center was in Tokyo, Japan. So to do any action, it took like a second and a half to 2 seconds for that to ping the server in Japan and come back. So it was terribly slow. So it was yeah, it just wasn't good, unfortunately. But I still played it and I still liked it, even though there was hardly any content, and it was just really just grinding monsters. But you know, for the few people that did play, you know, we did parties, and you know, we'd go out and level up, and you know, there was like maybe 1 or 2 dungeons. But at that time, it wasn't like 4-man dungeons. It was like literally the world was one instance. So you know, when it came to the dungeons, you just really just walked into one, and you went through it. So there was no real instance. I think the first one that they did, that was instance. It was like an 8-man dungeon, and it took like an hour and a half to complete. So it was interesting. Like, go back and watch some of the YouTube videos on on 1.0. It's something. But it did get really cool there towards the end. The Raven battle was epic. Epic proportion. The Raven battle was cool. And that was like the last big fight in 1.0. So if you look up anything on 1.0, go back and look at the Raven battle. Amazing. Alright. Oh, I can ride my chocobo here. Oh, this was another thing that the legacy folks got, was this chocobo. And this was like the chocobo that was in 1.0. So like only the people that played 1.0 to the end got this. So we got some exclusive stuff. It was cool. Yeah, I think the biggest problem with 1.0 was the fact that there was only one data center, and it was in Japan. So anybody playing outside Japan was just, yeah, they were screwed. But I think even the ping was slow, even if you were in Japan. Yes, and like the instant, like that's a good one to point out. Like everything had a high resolution texture. Everything in the game. Like it's not like what you see now, where if you close up on your character, like you see some, you know, low res textures in the character model, right? Well, in 1.0, their goal was to create an incredibly high resolution field. So everything in the game had a high resolution texture, which meant you needed, well, there was no computers powerful enough to really run that at the time. Not on the consumer level, like at all. So so you needed a computer, like, and I think the what I had at the time was like an AMD Phenom 2 with like a GTX 550, and it ran the game. It ran the game pretty well, but it still required a large amount of system resources. Like the moment you even ran, like if I had like a hardware monitor up, the moment you fired up the client, even like your temperatures were going through the roof. Like that's how badly the game engine was optimized. It was really terrible, but it really did look good. Like when you were playing the game, like going through like the story portions, as incomplete as it was, like the game world, like everything looked fantastic. So if you were big on, you know, the way a game looks, like that was the epitome of a good-looking game. But there was just no content. Like 1.0 had no content at release, and people played it for a month. It was like the new world of the time, right? Right, yeah, it did. It was amazing. But it was the new world at the time. Like people logged in and they played for a month, and then when they leveled up to 50, at the time the level cap was 50, and leveled up to 50 and realized there's no content, everyone stopped playing. And there was really no plan to add new things to it either. So, and I think that's why the director got fired, because not only did the game look and feel incomplete, there was no content, and everyone dropped off after a month worth of playing. I want to say everyone, but like it was a mass exodus of people who just stopped playing and gave it bad reviews and said it was terrible. So yeah, it was a time. It was a vibe to see all that unfold. But the thing about Yoshida, like, he communicated openly with the players and the people that played it, and that was the cool thing. And he was like, "What do you guys want? Like, what do you guys want?" And you know, and we would post stuff in the forums like, "Hey, like this would be cool, or that would be cool, or this would be interesting, or that would be interesting." And he'd basically come back and say, "Yes, we can probably fit that in somewhere," or "Nope, that's not gonna work. We can't do that." And like it went on for like 6 months, I want to say, of just of that kind of dialogue going on before he was just like, "We're gonna shut this down, but we're gonna also do this instead." Because I think it just got to a point to where he just could not achieve what the players wanted. So how come everybody got a cool looking coat for this except for me? Like, I got this fugly looking, like, disgusting thing. Like, gross. I'm not putting that on. Yeah, DX12 would be phenomenal. I mean, I think it's about time anyway that they take a look at really upgrading the engine for this game. I mean, especially Yoshida is saying that, you know, they want this game to last for, you know, the next 20 years, which is actually reasonable to think, because, you know, look at Final Fantasy XI. That game's 30 years old. No, that game's 20 years old, and people still pay to play that. Like, a game that was originated on the PlayStation 2, like, think about that for a second. People are still 20 years later paying a monthly subscription to play that game. So yeah, I think 20 more years of Final Fantasy XIV is likely. Yeah, that's weird. That is kind of weird. hard to say if that's game optimization though. Might have a hardware problem. Because really, like, I mean, honestly, every computer that I've ever owned, I remember when it was new also, and yeah, I'm feeling old too. Like, I remember, okay, now, I'm quite a bit older than you, so I'm going to show my age here. I remember when Final Fantasy NES was new, because I played it. And I remember the game. I bought the game.
Our present situation is as follows.
And it was like back when the box art, like they put effort into the box art, and there was a world map like this big inside the box. I thought that was, I mean, I was a kid, but I thought that was amazing.
Efforts to aid the people of Garlemald have begun in earnest. Moreover, having entered into the capital, the Imperial Palace is within our reach.
Thank you, but I wish. Yeah, no, I'm quite a long ways ahead of you. In age, that is.
But before we proceed further, we must learn what has befallen this city. For therein lies the key to understanding and combating the Telophoroid's designs.
I have a suggestion, if I may. Several of the Imperial soldiers we captured on the Magna Glaciers are members of the Populares and acquaintances of mine. Once we have cured them of their tempering, they should be able to give a reliable account of the events leading to the capital's downfall.
A promising idea. I will assist the healers and their ministrations. Of course, I will require a proxy of my own, assuming you can spare one.
Good old Porksy.
Would you like a hand?
Of course.
No, I am sure we will manage. Better that you take my place in the field. The noxious ether of this place disagrees with me, and as I shall need to draw on my own for the treatment, 'twill be prudent for me to remain within the camp.
This talk of curing the tempered is all well and good, but I reckon the cold is a more pressing concern. All the houses round here are fitted with cerulean heaters that could keep us warm and toasty. Problem is, the machines seem to have given up the ghost, and if we keep sitting around, freezing our asses off, we'll be next. My smiths reckon that with the right parts, they can have them working again, but it won't be easy.
Understood. The machinist will assist them in the repairs.
The rest of us should either stand watch or survey the area.
Yep, no problem, man. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. And yeah, take care of that fiance.
We've made our presence known to the Telophoroi. They will be searching for us, if they have not already ascertained our position. That we have seen no sign of them since the battle suggests they have yet to do so. However, I suspect they may be biding their time.
Or perhaps we are beneath their notice.
In any event, we'll find no answers standing around here. Urianger, Estinian and myself have visited Garlemald recently, so we'll lead the reconnaissance efforts. Perhaps bolstered by a few Bosnian and Dalmatian scouts from my previous excursion for good measure.
Oh. Yeah, I will eventually get the resident cab art. I'm just waiting for it to go on sale. so probably won't be until 31. When 31 comes out, like, all the previous arcade art goes like dirt cheap, so I usually buy it at that time. So yeah, I'll let you know. I did have a second set of cast hour cab art, but I sold it to a local arcade, unfortunately. He had a cab and he needed it, so.
Don't forget about us Alamegans. We have experienced scouts of our own.
Well now, this is turning out to be a rather sizable team. With such numbers, we should be able to cover a wide area with relative ease, including that surrounding the Imperial Palace. How about you, Graha? I have a feeling we'll find a use or two for that vanishing spell of yours.
'Twould be my honor to be of service. Though I doubt that you of all people need rely on my tricks.
Yeah, it would really look good in a frame, actually. But yeah, I'll let you know whenever I do decide to retire this, my current cab art. And right now, the only extras that I have are the how to play cards. I have like, I don't know, three or four different. Like Cannonballers, the one that came with a Rude Age, and Linkle. So these are really the only extras that I have right now. Yeah, you should. I mean, it's expensive. It's an expensive venture, man. Do it before you get married. Do it, trust me, do it before you get married. My wife almost killed me when I brought this thing home.
That leaves us with guard duty.
As a matter of fact, I have something else in mind for the two of you and Alphino.
Oh, well, sorry. Oh, well, in that case, you're
Between
good.
here and the center of the capital lies the Eblan Rhine. I would have you search the area for survivors.
Yeah, unfortunately, my wife hates video games. Like, hates video games, which is strange, right? Like, why would someone marry someone who hates video games? Marry someone who loves video games? It's a strange combination, I guess. I guess the old saying that opposites attract is a bit true. So, there's a lot of truth to that. So, yeah, she hates video games. She disdains it. So, which is odd, but yeah, there's some truth to that too. Like, it just happens, man. Like, you know, like what can you do? So it is what it is. Like, we just kind of have an unspoken understanding that, like, I'm gonna play video games. Like, that's it. Like, it's not really, you know, like, don't expect me to change that. So, and I think to some degree at this point, she just doesn't. She just rolls her eyes when, you know, when I play my video games. But that's all right. She can do that.
Your keen sense of direction, honed in your extensive travels, should prove useful in navigating the ice fields. I have faith that you will, and look forward to greeting you on your safe return. You all have your duties. Let us make haste. May the Fury bless and keep you.
Right. Odds be good. If it's this cold with Tataru's clothing, I dread to think we'd fare without it. I must remember to thank her when we next meet. I don't need it. I'm a furnace. Right. Right, next. Thank you. Yes, I'm enjoying it so far, so yeah, man, have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with me. Right. Oh, there they are. Hearing something. Sounds like an Aetheryte. So more espionage. Okay, so I have to go back to start mode. So she noticed me. So I have to follow her without being noticed. Alright, try this one more time. So far, so good. There's nobody behind me. I have a feeling like this is gonna take me a while. Nope. Nobody here. Keep moving. Nobody's behind that tree. No, not me. Mm-mm. She's running. Go for the rocks. Of course, she looks behind her. Sees nothing. I'm behind a rock. I hope my luck holds and that I can get through this with one shot. Actually, 2 shots. Okay. All right. Did it. Thank God I don't have to do that again. actually going to stop my stream there. So thanks for watching, guys, and I might be back on later. It just depends on how today goes with my kids. So all right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.